is the connection between the grain-free diets and heart health?
The connection actually isn't with the grains, it's with the meat that's in the food, or actually not in the food. When grain-free diets were developed, initially they just had some potatoes in and maybe some sweet potatoes. But now we've gone towards putting in legumes. And those legumes are not only a grain or starch, but also a protein source. So it enabled the manufacturers to use less meat. Well, guess what? Taurine is found in meat, not in plant protein. And that's the link in a nutshell.
So basically, these diets were making it hard for our dogs, or just basically our dogs weren't getting enough taurine, and that is what was leading to the heart problems.
Correct, because of the substitution of plant protein for meat protein, which of course let the manufacturer keep their costs down, keep profits up.
So what is the fallacy in the idea that if we start feeding a kibble with grain, our dogs will be fine?
Well, once you put grains in there, you have to add more meat if you're talking about making a kibble to meet the protein requirement, because of course grains have less proteins than legumes. So it's in a way taking a step backwards in terms of the big picture of what you're feeding. But it is getting more meat in the dog's kibble, which is better.
Right. Okay. So with people who are like basically walking away from raw food diets and deciding to feed their dogs, you know, basically a grocery store kibble, which is surprising to me. What is the difference between a raw food diet and a grocery store kibble? Since now, based on what you're saying, we no longer have to worry about heart health because in a raw food diet, our dogs are getting the taurine that they need through the protein.
Correct. Because taurine is found most commonly in animal origin foods. Shellfish is a great source. So, you know, those of us who supplement with mussels or oysters, we're putting taurine-rich foods in. Muscle meat, chicken thighs are a great source of taurine. Dark meat, poultry, beef. If you feed heart, as many prey model feeders do, or people who feed a ground mix, great sources of taurine. Now, the next group of people who make a home-cooked diet are also better off, but you have to remember that cooking destroys somewhere between 50 and 75% of the taurine that's in the food. So you have to keep that in mind. And think about how kibble is processed at temperatures and pressures multiple times. That's why at the end of the kibble making process, the companies will add taurine because they know they've destroyed it in their processing.
So